Sign of Times, episode 124 from this undisclosed. Please pick up after your pet. Thank you sign. That's a please pick up after your pet. Thank you sign. So if you have a pet, pick up after it. Like if it leaves its dirty laundry around, or if it like leaves a bunch of empty bottles and cans around, you pick them up, recycle them, throw the dirty laundry in the wash. Just don't let them like leave everything it has laying around. See? Alright, so for the people that love the snap, look at this. There's a new pamphlet talking about the Sign of the Times. New pamphlet. So apparently people love the show so much, they've made a pamphlet for it. And Kacee Carlise, whom I love, loves the show so much, she put it over in a radio show that she was on this last week that had Ox Baker hours after surgery. He had open heart surgery, said not stopping me from doing an interview, and then he did it because he wanted to be on the same show as Kacee Carlise. Well, who could blame him? And then Tugboat just randomly called in. Just randomly. It's like, yeah, it's Tugboat. Wanted to be on with Kacee Carlise. And then Scott Romer, who was formerly known as Sal Creechman and Bruiser's WWA, called in. It was tremendous. And Kacee Carlise put over the Sign of the Times on that same show. It might have been the greatest radio show ever. Of all time. The Twitter where you can follow me, but not literally. Much like Jimmy Skills does. He really does. Facebook, sponsoring the YouTube, which you might be watching right now. Right now. Comic book of Team IOU, who has still not contacted me for an interview. They have not. I wish they had, but they had not. And Nick Iggy, if Carrie Awful leaves his towel laying around, pick it up, put it in the wash. Come on, Nick Iggy. Okay, there's Team Bad Knees. Missile is having a birthday this week, and she is scheduled to have her birthday party / WrestleMania party on Sunday. Maybe she will defend the Sign of the Times 24/7 International YouTube Heritage Heavyweight title during that party. Maybe she will trap someone in a full Nelson, or a really punishing side headlock, or maybe even just put someone in a figure 4 and make them tap out if they should try to challenge for that title. I hope there's footage of that party. And then look at that, there's Kacee Carlise. Well, maybe she will knock on the door at the Miller home, and when Missile is opens the door, she'll put on the Iron Claw, because that once garnered a title reign for someone. Maybe she will try that. I don't know. There's Kacee angry that the Sign of the Times is only once a week unless we do a bonus episode, sometimes with a masked luchador that loses his hair. There she is with the title she formerly held. Formerly. I'm sure she'll win it back. There she is, where she was learning how to hold that title in her Catholic schoolgirl education. There she is in a hot nurse's outfit, because once she got through Catholic school, she went and studied at hot nurses college. There she is at a undisclosed barn, because she apparently does farming on the side. There she is, a little bit angry. Angry that she lost her belt, but happy that she's still a hot nurse. And then boom, there she is with the pillow. A pink pillow at that. So this week, hopefully Nick Iggy will pick up after Carrie Awful. This will be the most informative Sign of the Times for Team IOU ever. Ever. And then, today being Saturday, I'm going to watch the Hall of Fame. Maybe the clones will say something witty in their speech. Maybe the Ultimate Warrior will talk distrucity. Who knows? Who will induct the Ultimate Warrior? Because a bunch of people buried him on his first DVD release. So, that'll be an interesting turn of events. Sunday, we have Horace the Psychopath. If you're familiar with Minnesota-based independent wrestling, or if you were a fan of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, say 20-ish years ago, you probably have heard of Horace the Psychopath, huge star out of Minnesota. He will be on the show. QT might ask him things like, how did you enjoy teaming with Jerry the King Lawler? Or he might ask him, what's the greatest pair of wrestling trunks you've ever seen? Or he might even ask him, are you related to Horace Hogan? I don't know what will come out of QT's mouth when Horace the Psychopath comes on. We'll have to tune in and find out. And then, the Showcase of the Immortals, the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. If the WWE Network does not fail us, I'll be watching it. If it does fail us, I'll be saying, well, this really sucks. It's just a blank screen with The Rock taunting me from afar saying, The Rock says, go ahead and push the button now. And then I'll push the button, and then The Rock will be like, The Rock didn't say Simon Says jabroni. And then there'll be like maniacal laughter. Maniacal laughter. And I'll be like, what happened to the $9.99? And the WWE will be like, yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that. And I'll be like, but I didn't get the network to work. And they'll be like, seems like you got work to us, buddy. And then there will be some sad people. But that's going on Sunday. QT predicting Natalya Neidhart in the Divas match to become champion if Kelly Kelly doesn't win it in the biggest upset in the history of biggest upsets. Because she doesn't even work for that company. Monday, yeah, it's pretty much looking free. Tuesday, Stevie in talks with a major name to come to the lounge. Will he be there? Will he not? We will find out Tuesday. Will Stevie scare him off? Last week, Stevie had a huge guest, and Fiji Wildman gave us some answers to some questions that made total sense. Unlike some sports entertainers, he made total sense. Total sense. Everything perfectly clear now. There was an evil spell. Why didn't someone just tell me that? You could have said evil spell, and I would have been like, oh, okay. That makes sense. But instead, I got, it didn't have to make sense. I just wanted to fill up the broad. You know, which made 0 sense. And Wednesday, yeah, it's pretty much looking free. Thursday of next week, it's also looking pretty free. Next Friday, we have Bryce Remsburg coming to the show from Chikara. He's a referee, commentator, jack of all trades apparently there. We may have a brand new Chikara expert come on the show. Be worth checking that out. Or maybe we won't. Maybe you'll no-show us like Michael Hayes from OVW. But Bryce Remsburg scheduled to be on. And then later that night, I am scheduled to be on Triple Threat Radio as Kenny Cummings celebrates 3 years on the air. Former guests only, and since I have guested on that show multiple times, I was eligible and I got one of the last spots. Maybe he will ask me about my new tag team, the Venture Guys. Or maybe he'll ask me about the time I witnessed Psycho Sam and Cody retire in the locker room at intermission. Or maybe he will ask me, like, where do I get my gear? Or perhaps he'll ask me about how I slipped and fell repeatedly in the Quattro Thumbtack match. I don't know. It's up to Kenny what he'll ask me. I'll give him whatever answers I can. So pretty much, to review, pick up after your pets. If they have a party and they've trashed the house, go around, pick up the house. Pick up after them. Like if you have a pet raccoon and he brings garbage in and dumps it, scoop it back into the can and set it back out by the curb. Yeah. Saturday being Saturday, Hall of Fame tonight. Going to be interesting with Jake the Snake's induction speech. Maybe he'll talk a little bit about his time with Heroes of Wrestling, because if you've not seen that, check it out. Check it out. You can see a tiny clip on WrestleCrap's introduction, but watch the whole thing. It was bizarre, to say the least. And then, Sunday, Horace the Psychopath, where QT will probably ask him his boot size. And then, the grandest stage of them all, former HPW official Jason Harding going to be counting pinfall second for submissions on the Granddaddy of them all, apparently. He's down there. Brian Alvarez saw him, so I know he's there. Monday, looking pretty free. Tuesday, Stevie and talks with a big-time guest. Wednesday, looking free. Thursday, also relatively free. Friday, we have Bryce Rimsberg, possibly a new car expert, and then I go and I guest on Kenny Cummings' Triple Threat Radio. Should be good. So pretty much 124 from this undisclosed song.